Welcome back to Broadscope Gaming. Sorry about the cutoff. I didn't notice how long it was taking. Anyway, welcome back to Resident Evil 5. So we completed some things. I showed off a real quick trick, and there's no avoiding it forever. Say hello to Dr. Salvador's replacement. I believe he's just called a Chainsaw Majini. Which, by the way, Majinis are the name for the infected people. Yeah. We run. We run fast. The one big thing about these guys is that they are always a lot tougher than they look. Now then, as a mercy, their attacks are slow, so usually you're able to avoid Get him, Sheva. We run. We run fast. Basically, the idea of these skinny guys being a lot tougher than they look is a running gag since 4. Get it, Sheva. Curse you, Sheva. Now, the biggest thing about Mr. Salvador wannabe is that his attacks are actually slow. As long as you don't let yourself get too distracted while fighting him, and you have a clear path around, then you can avoid his attacks very easily. Now, obviously, you don't want to keep running past him, but that is an option if worse comes to worse. So yeah, shooting them in the head with a powerful shot will stun them, while doing enough damage to their head. Will stun them. Run, Sheva. So yeah, he's more... His deadly is more of an annoying deadly than a immediately lethal deadly. But he can still one-hit kill you. Don't let that fool you at all. You want to avoid him. Get him, Sheva. Yeah, getting your partner to do the follow-up attack basically requires you standing near whatever it is you're trying to follow attack up. Alright. Get him, Sheva. So yes, as you can probably tell by now, it's a bit like getting a surly dog to do what you want it to. There we go. Pick up its key and do not look back. Okay, so you do want to look back because occasionally he will stand back up. It depends on what your difficulty, I suppose I'll call it, your current difficulty score is. Because actual difficulty level is only indicative of what it'll feel safe throwing at you. Anyway. So, and what's basically congratulations for killing the chainsaw maniac. You get several goodies.
Take it.
Roger.
I forget if there's a BSA emblem. Once again, I'm not too concerned if I get the emblems or not. By the way, we're at work. Kirkcraft. Unfortunately, I don't have the inherent knowledge to make a guide. But there are plenty of good ones out there, so I don't feel too bad about that particular fact. So, welcome to QuickTime events. These are pretty rare, a lot rarer than they were in Resident Evil 4. But occasionally they will spice up some cutscenes. But not a huge fan, they don't add too much. There is exactly one that I enjoy, and that's mostly because it's a good excuse to show up for you. Other than that, it's mostly just arbitrary time wasting. Man, that dude has the sensitivity up high. He could have just been that and no problem. Say hello to Delta Team.
Man, am I glad to see you guys.
Delta Team Captain Stone.
Chris Redfield.
Sheva.
Thanks, Josh. I owe you one.
You guys know each other.
I trained under Josh. He taught me everything I know.
Sheva became little sister of the team. Now, Sheva, you must continue your search for Irvin. According to the data we retrieved from the hard drive, we believe he has moved on to the mining area. There's more info inside. We will follow after taking care of business here. And keep your radio handy just in case.
Thanks, Josh.
So yes, competency.
Jill.
That was an absurdly quick find of that relevant picture.
Chris, are you alright?
Yeah, I'm alright, just a little bit of PTSD.
Forget it. It's nothing. Let's move out.
Alrighty. So yeah, time to clear out some of my clutter. So yeah, we have all these gems, these new ones. All of them are worth something. Also, a real quick note, we're introduced to these generic cut gems. The diamonds of any of these kinds of generic cut gems will always be worth twice as much as the normal one, I believe. Forget if it's twice as much, 1,000 more, or it depends on what it is, but I believe it's twice as much. Now you may think that's a lot of treasure to go through and one by one hit sell. Hit R1, button says sell all down there, very helpful. You can sell every treasure you have in your possession for quick cash. Anyway, I'm going to be keeping this. This is basically the Uber rifle. It doesn't have anything special about it, but it has the highest firepower and capacity out of the rifles, if I remember correctly. So, pretty boring, but practical to use. Anyway, now we are getting to the level I most apprehend, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this part off early. Just showing what I got. Don't plan on changing much. Still don't have a lot of money to completely upgrade everything, but gonna go ahead and do that.
Sheva, do you know where the mines are?
Past the station. Not too far from here. But
Alright, gonna go ahead and quit the game here. And welcome back to the menu. So now, I'm going to go ahead and show off some more of the menu while we're here because I don't really think it's a good idea to continue to the mines on this particular chapter because the mines are definitely slower than the normal game and a bit of a headache. So now I can continue, which will just go off from the last checkpoint I ended at. I can chapter select, which means I can go in and pick any chapter. Also, there's a clear time and there's clear time and then there's difficulty. That's basically what clear time you have it on what difficulty. Amateur is the easiest, normal is harder, and veteran is definitely a lot harder. Amateur, you take less damage and dish out more. Normal is fairly balanced, and veterans, you take more damage and dish out slightly less. And then there's a hidden one called Professional, which is quite a pain. Yeah, it says train station, but it's actually the mines. You only spend like the first quarter in the actual train station itself. And so you'll notice all these times on the various things. That's, there are a few challenges with that. I will go over them once we've completed the game. So now, join game. I can go ahead and join anybody I want. Now, I'm not going to. I don't want to be that guy. But I just could hit quick match and then it will find whoever's letting people join them. Item management lets you mess around with your inventory when not in the story. Now, the inventory and the story are 1 in 1. It does not affect anything else, but this is just in case you want to say, sell some treasures and see how much money you have. Or you just want to make a finishing touch before you turn it off. Bonus features. Yeah, you may notice I have a lot of exchange points, especially since getting a good rank only gave me 150. We'll get to that in a second. But this is what those points after the levels are. So if you get an S rank, it'll give you 150 points, and those will go towards this. And so just as an example, since I do have a surplus, I can buy Magini Town a figurine that can be viewed in the library. This does not affect the game in any way. And I'll go through that before we go to the last ones. So this is the library, files, figures, which are basically little character models, and if you hit triangle, they make an appropriately grainy thing, as if the character, as if this little figurine is the one that isn't. Extra figures are for all the DLC. Because this is an HD re-release, it comes with all the DLC. And these are the DLC costumes for both Chris and Sheva. We have Road Warrior Chris, Little Red Riding Hood Sheva, or Business Casual Sheva, which is what I have her equipped, and Heavy Metal Chris. And then cutscenes, which will let you just look through any cutscene you've done before. Don't have to play through the level to see it. Don't really get a lot of use, but hey. This is records, this tells you what you've been doing. So yeah, you may notice slightly inflated figures compared to before. Like, say, I never died to the executioner Magini. I was only put in a near-death state. Well, we'll get into that in a second. Special settings. Got the costumes. Readily available is Business for Sheva and Warrior for Chris. I figure people don't want to watch Chris running around quite that exposed, and I personally feel that Business was a reasonable compromise compared to how Sheva normally is. Covers her up, her top up a little bit more, and her legs are clearly not hiding much. You have filter select, which for some odd reason they give you before you get a chance to get any filters. They're just graphical filters. And extra content. We have Versus and the Mercenaries United. The 2 question marks are unlocked when the story goes on. So this is Mercenaries. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'm just going to show you real quick. This is where I get all my points from. Well, I'll go ahead and show a demo, but I won't do no mercy. So we'll do solo normal. And then whoever you played as will have a rank. I'll just pick Excella. More trivia.
I'm in a chopper headed to your position now. Take down as many enemies as you can before I arrive. You'll get a special bonus if you defeat multiple enemies in a row.
Alright. So usually there's a way to a particular way to do this, but yeah, I'm not doing that. So this is where I kind of got that inventory super management thing. So basically your goal is to rack up a combo, keep going until time, and do not die. And this is why a lot of people will learn the melee system in and out. Because in this mode, it's basically you against the world. Let me go. So you try and get a high combo and get a high score. Oh. You can only do that with a pistol. And I'm sure this question will come up. Can you use these characters with their different melee set in the main story at all? No. Whenever you play the main story, you will always get Chris and Sheva. But yeah. I wouldn't recommend someone who just started the game do this mode. But it certainly is really good practice for the main story.
You are still a child.
Ow! Jerk. Who exploded?
You're just not ready for me.
Wait, does that skill turn them into bombs?
You are still a child.
Oh! So, sorry, I didn't know that. So that whole thing where they're like bulging up and then they explode, I didn't know that they changed it so that her first aid skill is will apparently turn them into bombs, pretty much. So yes, another thing is that melee kills will extend the time by 5 seconds. With certain characters, this actually makes it incredibly easy to indefinitely prolong the with others.
You're just not ready for me.
Not so much. Sorry, it's just a little weird. I never knew that it caused them to be bombs. I don't know if that was in the original or if they added it in the update to give her a bit more utility.
You're still a child.
You're out of time. Let's go.
So yes, her ending phrase will basically let you know what score you got. I got a C, I got 600. Upon getting an SS rank, which I haven't done on the normal one, you will actually get 5,000 bonus points. Versus is basically mercenaries if you hate other players. It's a competition to get the most score, but in addition, it allows you to attack. Instead of just you, it's 4 players trying to do basically mercenaries, but you can go ahead and go out of your way to take pot shots at them and kill them. It's really only fun if you like the super competitive part. Anyway. So yes, that's where all the exchange points came from. I enjoy me some mercenaries. And playing online with someone good can get you a lot of exchange points. Anyway, I figured I'd devote the episode to that, especially since I keep making references to mercenaries that you probably wouldn't get otherwise, so that was just a real quick taste. I wasn't intentionally trying to get a high score, I was just trying to show you what it is real quick. So, alright, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time to tackle the dreaded mines.